Hi there! If you are a beginning researcher, then most likely your problem is that you do not have a problem. Meaning, wala kang research problem. Very common yan sa mga estudyante. This video will help you. Ang una mong gagawin para makapili ka ng research problem ay sulat mo lahat na may isip mo na research problem. So from that list, tingnan mo kung alin dito ang good research problems. So let's see what are the characteristics of a good research problem. First, it should be feasible. This means that the research can be done. It is doable in terms of all beginning with letter M, men or persons, money, machines, materials, months, or time. The first aspect of feasibility is men or persons. And ang unang-unang consideration dito is you, the researcher. Labas mo yung listahan mo ng iyong mga research problems. Tapos tingnan mo, ask yourself, how well do I know the topic? Number one rule in choosing a research topic, never choose a topic that is alien to you. Huwag mong isipin na, ito ang gusto ko kasi hindi ako familiar dito. Natututo na ako tungkol sa topic na to, makakagawa pa ako ng research. That is a big no. Why? Common sense. For instance, you will make a questionnaire that you will use to gather data, but you're not familiar with the topic. Paano mo malalaman kung anong items ang isasama mo doon sa questionnaire? Anong gagawin mo? Read to know about the topic instead of going straight into making your questionnaire. Meanwhile, precious time is ticking away. So I repeat, I cannot overemphasize, never ever choose a topic that you are not familiar with. Still about you as a researcher, ask yourself, what skill is needed to conduct this research? For example, you need very good interviewing skills. And go to the next question. Do I have that skill? If I don't have that skill, can I learn it? If the answer is no, or it would take a long time for you to learn that skill, then say goodbye to the research problem. Still on men or persons, but this time let's look at the participants. Ask the question, are there enough persons who can qualify to participate in the study? This is usually not a problem unless the criteria that you have set are impossible, such as you want to include in the study persons who have wings and tails. Wala namang ganyan. So, basta hindi impossible, there will be people who will meet your criteria. But the question is, will there be enough? Most likely, yes. Because mas mahirap na mag-qualify basing on your criteria, mas kokonti yung mga tao na magwa-qualify, mas kokonti rin ang kailangan mo para sa study mo. For example, kung ang study mo ay mga centenarians, mga 100-year-olds and above, kokonti lang sila. Pero, kokonti rin naman ang iyong kailangan in most studies. Except for example, experimental research, may mga naka-fix na number. Pero, pag ibang klase ng study ang iyong gagawin, the tendency is that mas kokonti ang iyong whole population, mas kokonti rin ang kailangan mo na isama sa study mo. Kaya, merong enough, most likely. The more pertinent questions are, where are they? So, saan ang location nila? Will I be able to reach them? Baka naman kailangang umakyat ka ng 10 bundok para maabot mo yung iyong participants. Or, will I be allowed to access them? Nandyan nga lang sa tabi-tabi, pero hindi mo pwedeng i-access. For example, they belong to a group of people who are not allowed to communicate with the outside world. For example, mga madre na nandun lang sila sa kanilang kumbento at hindi sila pwede makipag-usap sa ibang tao. So if you could not access potential participants, then the research is not feasible. Say goodbye to that topic. Assuming that there are enough participants and that they are accessible, the next question is, will they agree to participate? If not enough persons will agree to participate, then the research is not feasible. Again, forget it. The second aspect of feasibility is money. Ask the question, how much will this research cost? Think of all the possible expenses such as Wi-Fi costs, printing of questionnaires, transportation, incentive to participants, if any, materials, fees to experts such as a statistician, printing of the panel members' copy of their output, food for the panel members if this is the practice, printing and binding of final output, etc. Total this, then add 10% at least for contingency. Then ask yourself, can I afford it? If the answer is no, first think of how you can get additional fund, like get a grant or a sponsor, sell products or services, etc. If the study is still not affordable, then say goodbye to the research. Bye-bye, problem. Next aspect of feasibility is machine. Is equipment or facility needed to conduct the study? What is this equipment or facility? And do I have it? If I don't have this equipment and facilities, can I access them? For example, can I borrow, rent, or buy? If the answer is no, sorry, the research is not feasible. Another aspect of feasibility is materials. Are materials and supplies needed to conduct the study? For example, paper, pencil, reagents. What are these materials and supplies? Do I have them? If I don't have these materials and supplies, can I access them? Again, if the answer is no, say goodbye to the research problem. The last aspect of feasibility is time. Ask yourself, how much time is needed to do this research? And do I have enough time? May mga researches na obviously hindi feasible in terms of time. Example, gusto mong gumawa ng developmental study, tracing the development of a child from birth until age 18. Pero yung research naman na yun ay isang school requirement that is expected to be submitted at the end of the school year. So it does not take a genius to know that this is not doable unless willing ka mag-graduate after 18 years. I suggest that you make a timetable and add 30% more time. Why? Ang sinuggest ko, di ba, sa contingency for the budget is only 10%. Bakit 30% sa time? You see, a lot of things could go wrong. It is possible to raise more money, but it's not possible to raise more time. Tapos na tayo sa feasible, punta naman tayo sa second characteristic of a good research problem, and that is interesting. Kunin mo uli yung iyong listahan ng mga problems and answer this. In a scale of 0 to 10, my interest in this study is blank. Remember, doing research can be very stressful because it demands so much time and energy. But it can also be joyful if you love what you're doing. So if your interest in the topic is less than 7 over 10, forget it. Kung hindi ka interested sa topic na ginagawa mo at sobrang nai-stress ka, at ang dami-dami mong effort at time na dinidevote dito sa topic na to, then you're going to be miserable doing that research study. The third characteristic of a good research problem is that it is researchable. Kunin mo uli yung listahan mo ng research questions and answer this. Can the research question be answered through research? To illustrate the concept of researchability, let's look at two research questions. First, what are the perceptions of family members regarding how ethical is a DNR order? Ano ang hinahanap dito? Perceptions. Kaninong perceptions? Family members. Tungkol saan? How ethical is a do not resuscitate order? Ang question ko, pwede ba itong mag-gather through research? Pwede ka ba mag-gather ng data tungkol sa perceptions? Yes. Pwede ka, for example, gumawa ng questionnaire at i-float mo at pasagutan mo sa kanila. Pwede rin naman na mag-interview ka, di ba? Since ang question na to ay pwedeng masagot by means of data that can be collected through research, then this is researchable. Yung number 2 naman, how ethical is a DNR order? Ang tinatanong dito is how ethical, hindi tungkol sa perception. Pero tungkol sa DNR order mismo, kung ethical ba o hindi. So my question is, pwede mo bang i-gather ito by means of data collection? The answer is no. For example, kahit 100 na tao ang tinanong mo at lahat sila ay nagsabi na ethical ang isang DNR order, it does not necessarily mean na DNR order is ethical. In the same manner, conversely, 100 na tao nagsabi na unethical ang DNR order, it does not necessarily mean that DNR order is unethical. Perceptions lang nila yon. Kaya itong number 2 is not researchable kasi hindi yan masasagot by means of a study. Next characteristic of a good research problem is that it is ethical. So the first question is, will the research do no harm? Never choose a research that will knowingly do harm. For example, some Nazi doctors injected air and other substances into the bloodstream of Jews who were imprisoned in concentration camps. This was to determine the effects of these substances on humans. These experiments may have contributed to medical knowledge, but they are unacceptable because they were unethical. For you, potential sources of risk or harm to participants should as much as possible be identified and minimized. So wag kang pipili ng research problem that does not allow you to do that. Kailangan yung research problem na pipiliin mo ay hindi makakasakit ng mga tao. At kung meron mang potential o merong risk, dapat ay meron kang capability na ma-minimize itong risk na to. Another question that needs to be answered under the concept of research being ethical is it possible to conduct the study in such a way that the participants' rights are respected? For example, research should respect the participants' right to autonomy. This means that they should be able to provide informed consent so that there should be no deceit and they should be able to withdraw anytime they want. Their privacy should be respected in relation to both the physical aspect and also in relation to their identity and the information they wish or refuse to share. They should be treated fairly. Hindi sila dapat nagsasuffer ng consequences related to choosing to participate or not participate. If the research problem will not make this possible, then it is not acceptable. For example, yung research na pinaplano ninyo ay nangangailangan na kayo ay manilip sa CR kasi gusto niyong malaman ano ba yung behaviors ng mga tao in private. Manilip sa CR, manilip doon sa mga kwarto, ganyan, kung anong mga ginagawa nila in private. Very interesting yung research kasi parang, di ba? Ano nga ba talaga ang ginagawa nila sa private as compared to what they do in public? But, ethical ba yan? Nasisilipin mo kung anong ginagawa nila sa kanilang kwarto. Sinisilip mo kung anong ginagawa nila sa CR. Of course not. That's a violation of their privacy. Kaya, hindi pwede yung research na yan. Lastly, a good research should be significant. So, will the research benefit or contribute to the following? And if so, what benefit? So, to the participants, others who belong to the same group as the participants, and to the profession such as practice, education, and research. For example, the research is about the effect of passive leg exercises on the onset of walking among infants. So, if the study would show that passive leg exercises promote an earlier onset of walking, then what would be the benefit or contributions of the study to the participants? Yung nag-participate, they will walk earlier. Others who belong to the same group as the participants, yung iba ring mga infants, the findings can also be applied to them. Passive leg exercises can be done on them so that they will also walk earlier. What about nursing? As a profession, practice natin. Nurses can perform these leg exercises on their clients or they can teach parents these leg exercises. What about nursing education? This bit of knowledge and the technique of passive leg exercises can be taught to students so that the students can also do this on their patients. What about nursing research? The study can serve as reference to future related research. It can also inspire future researchers to do related researches such as variations in the technique and duration of exercise, exercises to other body parts. And it can also be applied by different health agencies. Before we proceed, if you have not subscribed yet, then click the subscribe button. To summarize and to help you remember the characteristics of a good research, use the acronym FIRES. F is feasible, I for interesting, R for researchable, E for ethical, and S for significant.